Hello people, we're back again, and this time we're going to make a delicious Marmite vegan gravy. It doesn't matter, it can be vegan, otherwise you can use butter, but I'm going to make mine oil based today. So to do this we're going to use Marmite, delicious product, either love it or hate it. Anyone who sort of is on the fence, make up your mind, just choose which one you want, right? Love or hate. Anyway, I love it, but when you get to the bottom of the jar and you can't scrape all that stuff out, there's still residue left inside. So what I did first thing in the morning was pour my hot water straight into the jar, filled it up, and I've got a pre-made, ready to go stock waiting for me whenever I need, just there. So I'm going to use a little bit of this, and then I'm also going to teach you how to make a stock using the trimmings of our vegetables. So what I normally love to do is make, let's say a pumpkin or a squash Wellington with mushrooms and stuff like that. So it's really rich. You got pastry wrapped around it. It's absolutely delicious. And this is going to go along with my vegan gravy. So I'm just going to show you. This is a lovely crown print squash. The colours are amazing. Got that orange and blue going together. So all I'm going to do here is to take the skin off, and I'm going to use the skin in the stock. So nothing's going to waste. That can all go in there. In there, and also I'm going to use that to make the Wellington. And that can go in there. I'm not going to make the Wellington today, but we might do that in another video. So today's just focusing on the gravy. Onion, take the peelings off, either go into the compost normally, but today it's going to make a lovely delicious stock. And you can use anything really, you know, you can use like a little bit of leek ends, a bit of carrot peelings if you want, if you don't want to use the peelings. I've got some herbs, bay leaf, rosemary, sage, garlic. But again, everything I'm doing is zero waste for maximum flavour. So that can go in there as well. Onion peelings are a little bit tricky really. You can squeeze them and push them down to get the peelings out. So normally what I would do, once I've sort of peeled everything off, I would then finely dice this onion, finely dice the garlic, mix that all together. Then I would finely dice the squash or the pumpkin. I put that into the pan, mix it off with my herbs, then the mushrooms, and sort of sweat it all down until it becomes this really umami, delicious veggie concoction. And that'll make the base for my Wellington. Cool, so I've got some herbs going in here, some sage, and you can either use the rosemary obviously in the thing, or you can just use the stalks in here. The peelings again from the garlic, that can all go in there. So the actual garlic flesh itself can go into the main part of the dish, whereas the peelings can go to make the stock. So anyway, I'm not going to make the stock now because it's going to take simmer for about 30 minutes, something like that. But just going to fill the water up just to above it, halfway up the pan, let it simmer for 30 minutes, take it off, let it relax, sieve it. Cool. Blue pizza style. Here's one I made earlier. Now we're going to make the actual gravy, the bit you've all been waiting for. Let's put that all to one side. Cool. Pan on here, gas on. So as I said earlier, if you want to make it all buttery deliciousness goodness, good old organic local butter, absolutely fine. Probably about 50 grams of that, whereas this is oil, so I'm just going to do a tablespoon, 2 tablespoons of oil. Tablespoon and a half of the flour. Now, as I said earlier, I fill this up with hot water. So that hot water has basically relaxed all the Marmite. It's now completely dissolved into the stock. I'm going to add this to my veggie stock. So at the moment, you've now got this delicious Marmite-y veggie broth going on. The oil and the flour is here just to make a roux. So that's going to thicken the gravy, otherwise you've got that liquidy thing going on down there. Let the flour cook out. And what that means is that you don't want that raw flour taste. You want a sort of slightly nuttier version of it. And once that's cooked out just for 30 seconds, I'm going to add, turn that down a little bit. And it's like making a roux, like a bechamel or white sauce. This is how easy a good, delicious vegan gravy can be. Zero waste, organic, local, all those key words that we're looking for. Sustainable. So I've got about 500 mils here of liquid. Put it all in. Cool. And then what we're going to do is we're going to let it completely reduce over the time. So it's thickened nicely. If you need to ever thicken something again, and you're at this stage and you don't want to be bothered to get a new pan out or anything like that, you can mix some flour with some oil or butter or whatever it is, and that's called a beurre manier, something like that. It's very French. But then you just take that sort of congealed flour and oil butter mixture and drop it in and whisk it very quickly, and that will thicken the stock up. Cool. Let's just have a little taste. You can add more salt at this stage or whatever you want. Amazing, that's so good. It's just got enough marmitiness coming through, but you've also got all those other flavours. You've got the squash skins, which add a creaminess, onion, you've got herbs, so you've got depth going on in there. So you don't need to be using all this meat if you don't want to. We can actually make a really quick and easy vegan, vegetarian gravy almost within sort of 5-10 minutes. As I said, that can now just be reduced right down to the consistency you want. If you need more stock or less stock, as I said, you can make that little butter flour mixture and thicken it at this stage. But otherwise, we've got completely zero waste. We've used the whole part of all our vegetables, and we've got this delicious meal just for the two of us. There we go. Cheers.